Coach. A couple days have passed since the spring game. You probably had a chance to go back and look at the tape. What'd you think when you went back and checked
What
it
I
out?
thought today of it. I mean, there's some good things, some bad things, but we got a chance to have a good team. We just got to keep progressing whatever happened between now and this fall, and get healthy again and perfect a lot of things as far as just little things and how hard their summer they go at, what they got to do, get great conditioning, great shape, and then have a great fall camp, stay healthy, and hopefully we'll get better.
Jimbo, how much does having that Alabama game out there help sharpen the kids?
Well, I think it does,
in
but
the summer and then when you get back in August.
But last year we had Ole Miss, who was a top 10 team. We played Oklahoma State, who was a top ranked team. Played Pitt. I mean, anytime you have an opener like that, I mean, it makes guys aware of staying on task and making sure that, it catches their attention a lot of times. But those openers always do that.
Jimmy just mentioned 3 neutral site games you've had to start the season the last few. Obviously, that's something you guys do a lot. And any kind of mixed feelings or some positives, some negatives with those?
Well, I think there are. I mean, I think one, with the playoff environment and the atmosphere that goes out there, that's the closest thing you're going to get to that. And then this year should be maybe the biggest one, probably maybe in college football history, whether 1-2 or 1-3 matchup, something like that, or 2-3 matchup, whatever comes out. But you put yourself in that environment, but you also expose yourself, early in seasons, because some years that's great to do, some years that's tough to do, depending on how your team when it comes back. But you can't predict those things ahead of time, and they're here to stay. I mean, for the most part, I think those type of games. But I don't know if you should do them every year, but at the same time, they are exciting, they're fun.
What did DeAndre show you after his third spring now? What's he gotten better at? What's he still need to work on?
No, it's actually his second spring. I mean, he can go that, but good. I mean, he's developing his knowledge of the game, and then controlling the huddles, controlling little things that a lot of people don't see. Everybody gets caught in this route or this throw. Quarterbacking is so much more than throwing the football. It's so much more than it's leading, it's commanding, it's understanding situations, understanding field position, understanding time in the game, just your overall command of your craft. And I think that's where he really keeps growing in a lot of ways. Understanding the game.
I'm sorry. Did Bailey make some strides?
Who's that? Yeah, he did. JJ did. JJ had some really good things, some really nice throws in the first part of that. And first scrimmage had a really good scrimmage. Of course, he didn't play in the second one. But Bailey picking up some things and has a chance to be a good player.
He really showed us some athleticism in that. I know it's a spring game. He's really he can move around pretty good.
Oh, yeah. That's what I said. I mean, everybody had him as – that's why I always laugh when I read all the all the experts telling me what they can do, what they can and can't do. But he moves. He is a much better athlete than people ever give him credit for. But he's got a good arm. He's very smooth. I mean, understands the game and has a chance to be a really good player. He's got a good demeanor and a good psyche for the game when you're coaching him.
You mentioned the draft a little bit. I know Jalen Ramsey 2 weeks ago said 4 at 4. You think the Jags would take Dalvin Cook at 4?
That'd be good. Hey, you predict this draft? I have no idea. I mean, that's Russian roulette. I think when you start trying to predict that draft. But he would be. I mean, he's an outstanding. I mean, he's going to give somebody a dynamic playmaker. I mean, he's a guy, like I said. I mean, you go back in the history of college football. There's not many guys that had the long touchdown runs, the average touchdown run that he's had in the history, not just in the ACC or at Florida State. I'm talking about the history of college football. And he moves the sticks, but he also changes those numbers on the scoreboard. When he gets in space, he can run. He separates his acceleration and his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. I mean, there's so many different things you can use him as, and I mean, whoever gets him is going to be happy. I promise you that.
And DeMarcus Walker was a local guy from Sandalwood.
Yes.
What has he meant to you this last year? What do you expect out of him in the next level?
I mean, just the play and the level of consistency and the level of competition he created in practice and made the guys around him better. And I mean, you talk about a guy who maximizes everything. I'm talking about his moves, his techniques, his talents, his lifts. I mean, he loves the game. Some guys play the game, some guys love the game and live the game. He loves and lives it. And I mean, he's going to be a great attribute to whoever gets him. It's going to be really interesting to see where he goes because I mean, you talk about production, you talk about productivity, and a guy who makes plays. I mean, has talent, but goes out there and makes plays, makes them in big situations, critical games. I mean, this guy, he does it now, and I mean, he's such a good player for us. I mean, really, he's going to be one of the best ones in Florida State history.
Coach, over the balance of your coaching career in spring ball, pattern to how often the defense is ahead of the offense or the other way around?
Oh, 90% of the time the defense is always ahead. I mean, anytime in my 29 years, I mean, I've had a few of them. And those have been years where we had to go out and score people because they see your plays every day. They see what you do every day. They know your schemes every day. They know the play. I mean, it becomes a big deal, and it's so much easier. People think I'm crazy enough. It's easier to be good on defense than it is on offense. You got to have players and scheme and all that, but the effort and because the timing, the execution, all the little things on offense it takes to really be great, and those things just don't come in 15 days.
So it never overly concerns you if the defense has proven to be ahead of the offense at the end of the spring.
That's what I want.
Yeah. Okay.
If they're not, we got problems.
Okay.
Jimbo, offensive line, you had a couple really key guys out this spring and a lot of other guys banged up. I mean, how are they looking across the board from?
I've been very proud. I mean, the guys, when they practiced and they did in there, I mean, the young tackles, Ball and Williams, did a really good job. Williams, he got banged up right there at the end of spring, but he was doing. You saw the athleticism. I mean, not the consistency at times, but man, you see the ability to play out there. He's going to be a talented guy. Eventually, one day, he's going to be a really high pick. Josh Ball really started to emerge, got banged up there in the middle, but I was very happy the way he played in that game. His hand on the atmosphere and environment. Big guy who's going to be a really talented guy. I think he's got a really good future. The young guys, Minshew, I thought had a really good spring. I was really proud of the way he played in the spring. Got better in his pass pro stuff and holding space. And not just, everybody talk about blocking your guy, but also in the offensive line, it's so much who you're helping, how you're helping, where your body language. I mean, all the little intricacies of playing in there and setting that wall for guys and making it almost even helping it as you're blocking and not sliding too far out, or if you're free of how far you got to slide, where your eyes got to be and where your body presence got to be. All those things, when you're talking about the inside three, guard, center, and guard, that is so critical. And one guy on one level, one guy on, if a guy just steps up one level, they create that seam. You know what I'm saying? And what our centers and guards and all that did a much better job of understanding that inside. Bavion had a great young spring. Baselli over here from Jacksonville, did a great job. He got banged up at the end. He got clipped in the knee. He'll be fine. But he did well. I mean, of course, Everly was out, but getting him back is going to be really big. Dickerson was out. Getting him back would be big. But then getting Robbins back at the end was good. The other guys, that inside interior three guys, got better and better. And Derek Kelly, really, just you see his experience. You're talking about a guy who was banged up in his career and stuff, but when that experience in there, how to hold the point, that knowledge started clicking, and just how to help, and so many little things that you don't see, even when you're not blocking your guy. I mean, how you help the other guy around and all that stuff. It takes time. And offensive line is such a hard of all the positions besides quarterback. I mean, it's by the hardest to teach, coach, be around, and the continuity that has to happen in the right tackle situations. I mean, Ricky was playing really well, got a hamstring, but came back, and then they fell into his daggone ankle. But he was doing well, progressing, and even played on the left side. He went over on the left side in practice, did a nice job. So those guys, Rubel got bigger, stronger, played really consistent. You saw in the spring game, had a good game. So that group's getting better. I mean, they're continuing to grow.
Coach, Oklahoma State was a good team. Mississippi was a good team, but this is going to be one long summer of build-up to that game against Alabama.
It's a football game,
new
guys.
Stadium, but the fans are going to be anticipating this more than any opener I think you've had.
Well, that's great. I mean, that's what you're for. It's a football game. In 60 minutes, you play well. You're going to be a 100-yard stadium, and it ain't going to be. It's a new one, but I bet you the field's the same dimensions as the one in Tallahassee.
Sure.
I bet it's the same one in Tuscaloosa. Guys, it's one. Whether you win it or lose it, it's one football game. It's one win and one loss. You still got 11 other games. That's the way we look at it. We want to play well. We want to win the game. We'll be prepared to play it, but it's one football game.
Jimbo's support staff, I know, has been a big thing. Do you bring in Damian? Obviously, it was important to get him back in here. Do you see any more additions?
Yeah, we're trying, but making sure we get the right guys. I want to get high-quality guys in the right situations. And yes, it's something we have to continue to grow on, and we have to continue to fund that and expand that. And we're doing some of that, but we still got to continue to grow in that aspect. But also making sure we get the right guys. When you expand that late, just throwing a guy to have a guy makes no sense. I want to get the right guys, and that department of it and that part of our staff has to grow if we're going to grow as an organization and the consistency in which we have and keep on top like we have been. And we've been one of the top 2 winningest teams in the country since we've been here, since 7 years. We're the second winningest team in the country. And but to stay there, we're going to have expansion in all those areas.
What else? Obviously, Damian brings a certain skill set and experience. What else would you be looking for in terms of filling maybe another role or two there?
Well, I mean, different defensive guys, special teams guys. I mean, guys that can expand your staff and knowledge and ideas and breakdowns, evaluations. I mean, all kinds of things. I mean, you got to get high quality people, and you got to pay high quality people to be able to get in those positions. The guys eventually could move right into roles on your staff, so you don't have to go out and hire new. When you hire new people, it's great, but then you have to coach them. Mm-hmm. You have to coach the coaches for what your culture is, how you do things, the way you do things. And when you've got them there, and you can internally hopefully build them over time, and you can plug them in and move them in if you got the right guys. And that's something we're going to
like what Alabama did with bringing Sarkisian.
Yeah, I mean guys like that. And once they learn the system and what goes on, and how it goes on, that you have no idea how big and important that is. And those staffs that grow, I mean, it's just like, and I use the example. It's like you're a lawyer. When a big law firm gets a hold of a case on a little guy, they can just mount him in paperwork and things, and you're talking about getting a game plan and things, from film breakdown to things that are a day to a day and a half ahead in a 5-day week. That's huge, and you have no idea why that consistency and all that is. Those things are so much bigger than people even can imagine. I'm telling you. And I know they'll say, "Well, it's because you don't." I'm telling you, it is huge, huge.
There's been a lot of discussion this offseason about adding a 10th coach. Mm-hmm. Might be a vote in April.
Should be coming up this Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I think we're voting this Friday. I hope we get one, but the problem is they're pork belly and everything. They're trying to shove a bunch of things through that they're not breaking them up. I mean, it's like we're in Washington D.C. I mean, to get this, you got to do these 5 things, and so I don't know if it'll go through or not. I mean, it's a great thing to have, but if they break it off, it would definitely go through. Everybody wants one, and we need one. Well, think about this. There's more suits and coaches on a basketball sideline than there are players. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
In football, we got 120 guys, and we got 9 coaches. So your ratio in football is probably the worst of any sport there is when you really at the major sports when you really break it down. And the game has become so complicated, intricate in a lot of ways. And we definitely need one. I mean, the sport itself needs that. But it'll be interesting if they try to force a lot of other things through. I don't know if it'll go through.
Jimbo, a lot of ACC coaches the last few years. How much satisfaction has there been to what Clemson did in their bowl game, what you did in your bowl game? That everybody talking about the ACC is a heck of a lot stronger football conference than some people think.
Right now,
finally, you guys really proved it on the field. So is that
a lot of unknown
for this conference going in?
I think right now. If people would research, look at draft picks over the last go to the draft in the last 10 years. The ACC's been 2 most of the time and 1 the other time, and maybe 1 time third by barely. And you go to wins and bowl games and championships, and especially recently, I think we're as good a conference there is in the country, bar none. Go look at the coaches in the league. Go look at the players in the league. Go look at the quarterbacks in the league. Who's won championships and what the records are. I think we're as good as there is in the country, and that's no defect on any other conference. I think the Big Ten's great. I think the SEC's great. I think the Pac-12's great. I think the Big 12's great. I think they're all great, but I think we're as good as anybody out there. I really do. And numbers and coaches and history and players and quarterbacks. Look at the number of quarterbacks in our league. When you measure leagues, man, talk about players, talk about D-line, better talk about quarterbacks. I mean, look at the quarterbacks you played in this league. Even DeAndre, who's a young guy, Kaya, Trubisky, Deshaun Watson, the Heisman Trophy winner in Louisville. I mean, Pitt's guy's going to be in the NFL. NC State's young guy's probably going to be a first, second round pick. What's all over. Duke's got a great young quarterback. I mean, Syracuse had one before he got hurt. I mean, there's tons of quarterbacks in this day and time. It's huge.
So back in the 10th coach, what would, if that went through and you had the opportunity, where would you plug somebody in?
Most likely on the defensive side, special team side, however you want to work that, be a defensive special teams type guy, most likely. Because you need those guys on that side of the ball. Because we have 5 on offense, different positions and how it goes, most likely. But we'll also get the best available coach. Yeah. And those guys on their staff have coached both sides of the ball, different things. You flip guys around, we'll find whatever we need to do to find out.
Are y'all voting on quarterback to sideline communication, or is that up, or is that a different?
No, I mean I wish we had the headsets. I mean in the thing, I don't know why you don't do that. I haven't figured that out. You don't do it in the NFL, so why not train them? And it's not a lot of money. It's not high. I thought that was going to go through here a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden that was falling off the table and you ain't even heard it. I mean that's the thing. Sometimes it falls off like that. I don't know what the scenario that is. I'd like to see it. I think it'd be good. I think also having video on the sideline, I think it'd be good. You got it in high school. Don't have it in college. Got it in pro, don't have it in college. But I mean that's just me. I think any of that stuff is good.
Good.
Thank you for your
Like our videos? Then you'll love being a premium member of Warchant.com. with exclusive access to breaking news, insight, and analysis from the best on the beat. Enter the promo code WARCHANT30 on our sign-up page and get exclusive premium access for free for the next 30 days. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.